AACC community. My name is Brianne Erlenbush, and I am a first-year student at AACC. In this episode, you will get to meet Dr. Nicole Williams, Professor of Human Services here at Anne Arundel Community College. You will also have a chance to learn about a few of the numerous things that are happening at your community's college, AACC.
Well, hey, Nicole, thank you very much for meeting with us and being part of the Spotlight.
Thank you.
And I have some wonderful questions for you. The first thing, I want to know about your educational background.
Okay, well, I attended Bowie State University, where I received my Bachelor's of Arts degree in psychology. And then from there, I attended Howard University, where I received my master's and my PhD in social psychology.
Wonderful. And what brought you to AACC?
Well, I've always wanted to be a teacher. That has been a lifelong goal of mine. Ever since I was 5 years old, I knew I wanted to teach. And then eventually I also knew that I wanted to work with people, that I wanted to understand behavior. So I had this awesome idea, don't know where I got it from, was for me to become a professor of psychology. So that was my goal. And then, of course, as I was working on my master's and my PhD, I was actually in the field of human services. And then once I obtained my PhD, it was time to move on to academia. So I applied for a job here because they had an opening for a professor for human services, which is the field that I was in. And I applied for the job, and I got the position.
And the rest is history.
Yes.
What is your job title, and what do you do?
Coordinator of Human Services, Associate Professor of Human Services, Fieldwork Coordinator for Human Services. So I have 3 titles.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It is.
What made you decide to go into the field of human services?
Because now my story is different. Because if you talk to a lot of people who are in my field, many of them have stories, horror stories about not having great childhoods and the way they were raised and the things they've been through in their lives, which have been very traumatic. And it made them want to help people. I don't have that story. What I have is a story of my mother, strong mother and father, strong sister who loved me, who mentored me, who gave me what I needed to be successful. That's what made me want to go into human service. If I could give people what I was given as a child, to make them successful, that's why I wanted to be in this field.
What makes AACC different from other places where you have worked?
What makes AACC unique for me is the plethora of opportunities that I've had here at this college to be able to work within so many different departments. So besides from working for human services, I've had an opportunity. I also work for the Student Achievement and Success Program. Mm-hmm. I teach for the Continuing Education Department. I teach for the Psychology Department. I teach for African American Studies. So it's just been awesome being in one place and having an opportunity to connect with so many different people on campus.
What do you love most about AACC?
I love the students. I love the fact that working for a 2-year institution, what I thought initially was that you would have the students for 2 years and then they would move on. And then you get here and realize that you have them for a couple more years. So what I love about that is an opportunity to see my students grow and develop and to be a part of that development process. The one nice thing about human services is that this is their major. So I have them in several classes. I have them for several years, and I'm able to see them grow. And just for an example, this year I had 4 students to graduate from UMBC with their degrees in social work and sociology. And I was so excited to be a part of that because they started here. And one student even sent me her announcement and a thank you card to say thank you for where I am today. And that was so awesome. So that's the best part, is being a part of this growth and development process for students.
I know that you were involved with the sorority when you were in college. Can you talk about that and how it's impacted your personal life and your professional life?
Well, I'm involved in Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and that is a sorority that deals with community service. So my professional life is about community service because I am a human service professional. So the two work really well together, where I have an opportunity to do community service with my sorority sisters in the community to uplift our people. The sorority was founded at a time when African Americans were not able to receive the same opportunities. So the sororities served as a foundation for our founding sorors to be able to have a support system so that they could be successful not only in academia but in their professional life as well as in the community. So I think that piece of it helps me to understand, you know, where I come from and who we are as African Americans and the many strides that we have made as African American women.
You work with the Bridge program here at Anne Arundel Community College in the summer. Can you talk to us a little bit about that program?
Okay, the Bridge program is for African American students who are coming to AACC, and most of them are first generation or, of course, minority students. So the program is designed to basically get them here, to connect them with faculty and staff, to prepare them for college by doing reading, English, math, and then as well as beginning to teach them life skills that they will need to be successful when they start here at AACC.
What is the message that you feel that the summer Bridge students really need to hear?
I think that their circumstances. People often look at their personal circumstances as the very thing that hinders them. I look at your personal circumstances as the very thing that empowers you. You have to have a story, because once you have that story and you're successful, then you're going to be able to share your story with someone else and make that next person successful. So once again, a lot of times, instead of looking at our history as not being what we wanted it to be, let it be the power within you. Let it be the very thing that allows you to rise above your circumstances and to be successful. Because I do believe that those are the people that are most impactful, because because somebody looks at them and say, if you did it, if you got through this, I know I can. So I want them to know that.
What message would your students say that you repeat over and over?
To be resilient. To be resilient. In other words, life is always going to happen. You need to put on your boxing gloves and you have to fight. You don't have a choice. So I want them to be resilient. I want them to be able to be, you know, motivated. I want to basically encourage them to be the next generation of future leaders. But in order to do that, they have to be resilient. I want them to be able to have a strength within them so that they have what they need to be able to fight the battles that they will have to encounter professionally, personally, so forth and so forth.
What is one thing that people would not believe about you?
That I'm shy. I am an introvert. Believe it or not, people don't know that because I'm a teacher. So I have to communicate with people. I'm a dancer. I have to dance in front of crowds of people. I'm a musician. I've performed in front of NFL games. So with all of that, people, how can you be shy? I am really shy. If I'm in a room full of people that I do not know, I'm not going to say anything. So I'm very, very quiet. So it depends on my surroundings, but most people don't think that I'm introverted because I am extroverted when I'm in situations that I'm comfortable with. But if I'm somewhere that I don't know people, I'm very quiet, and it can be very uncomfortable.
Who is your favorite singer or musical group?
Well, I am a musician. I'm going to say a former musician. I don't play anymore. So with that being said, when you love music, sometimes it's hard to pinpoint one person that you like. But to give you a few examples, I like Incognito, which is a jazz group. I like Mary J. Blige. I love Jill Scott. I love Israel New Breed, that's a gospel group. So those are some of my favorites that I have. Also Pat Metheny. Pat Metheny, he's a classical artist, so I like him as well.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for joining us and being in the spotlight. And thank you for watching the spotlight in this month's edition of Cross Currents.
It was very easy for the non-traditional student like myself to come to the program and work my way through it at my own pace and succeed. I mean, I've done so much better in my college career this time around than I did the first time around, so that makes me really happy. So I loved everything about it, and if anybody ever asks me where I went and where I got my certificate, I'm going to say you need to move to Anne Arundel County and you need to come to AACC because the program is great.
Faculty are all practicing attorneys and judges, and they're able to take what you're learning in the textbook and tie it in with real life cases that they've had and real life examples in order for it to make more sense to you. When I moved up here, I found out that AACC had a paralegal program that was an associate's degree but also approved by the American Bar Association, and that was really important to me to be able to go forth to work for a practicing attorney afterwards.
I entered the paralegal program at Anne Arundel Community College primarily because when I was getting out of the service, I wanted to find a comparable job. I was a legal clerk for an infantry battalion, and I knew I wanted to work at a law office. I knew I wanted to go to a community college close to home, and Anne Arundel was 20 minutes away. It had evening and weekend classes, and after looking through the career brochure at the college, I knew that paralegal studies was the course I needed to take.
Thank you for watching this episode of Cross Currents. See you in the next episode. Ciao for now.